Now here's a real question. Do I put it above One Train and Pinata? Hello everybody and welcome back to For the Record. Today we got a nice little video for you today. We are doing a tier list of the infamous Posse cut. You know, the tracks with just all your favorite rappers on it. And they all spit some fire over a nice little beat. And we're going to be doing a tier list of about 20 or so songs, give or take, as you will. But yeah, I compiled a playlist. I listened to some songs for the first time, and I included some of my favorites, Posse cuts that I have listened to over the years. And yeah, should be fun. If you have any songs that weren't included in the video, please let me know down in the comments. And I've never done this in any of my other videos, but subscribe if you want to, if you're liking what we're doing around here. And like the video, you know, gotta up my YouTube etiquette, if you know what I'm saying. So, but without further ado, let's get right into the tier list and rank these Posse cut tracks. Alright, got the tier list pulled up for you guys right here, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off, we have One Train by A$AP Rocky featuring Kendrick, Danny Brown, Action Bronson, Big Crit, and Joey Badass is on there as well, and Action Bronson's white. The other white guy, I forget what his name is, but this is kind of like one of the. I mean, the funny thing is that A$AP Rocky is like notorious for like the Posse cut, whether he's a feature artist or he is the main guy. I've kind of seen that as like a trend, at least in the modern Posse cut stuff. A lot of the same artists are on the same tracks. Like Danny Brown's notorious for being on Posse cuts and stuff. But anyway, enough of me rambling. Back in one of my previous videos, I said I've heard bits and pieces of One Train. I haven't heard it in full. Well, I have now, and yeah, I think Danny Brown's verse might be my favorite. It has some funny lines in there. I love Action Bronson's verse right after it. I've heard some takes that Big Crit has the best verse. It would probably slide in at 3 for me. I'm not the biggest A$AP Rocky fan, and if you know me, I'm a big Kendrick fan. I don't like his flow a whole lot on this. It's kind of like real old school, like nursery rhyme-ish kind of a thing. He gets into that sort of a bag. But the beat's good. It's nice. It's a good Posse cut beat. I'll get into that a little bit more when we hit some other songs. But it's not like knocking my socks off kind of good. And I'm not the biggest A$AP Rocky fan, so it's not like, oh, this is crazy when I was listening to the album. I haven't listened to this whole album, so I've only heard songs, probably like 2. I'm not in love with everything. There's probably like 3 great verses on it. The beat's good. I'm between a B and a C right now. I'll go C for A$AP and the crew on One Train. Alright, next up we got Flavor in Your Ear remix by Craig Mack featuring Biggie, Busta Rhymes, The Devil, Diddy. We're not going to talk about him. He doesn't speak on the track, but I think he produced it, but whatever. And who else is on here? I forget who's on here. Trust me, I listened to the whole thing, but I had to pull up Genius, you know, because there's some Posse cuts that have a lot of people on it, and you lose track at some points. But I think back to like the Posse cut beat style, I think I prefer chiller Posse cuts more like hyped up Posse cuts. And this beat is iconic. I mean, you hear it on like Funk Flex. They do like the freestyles on it. Sway in the Morning, I believe, uses beat as well. Yeah, Craig Mack definitely did something with it. Biggie floats on it. I love when Busta Rhymes comes in. And oh yeah, LL Cool J is on this. And his verse is so mellow. It's not my favorite on the track, but Busta comes in with like singing flavors in your ass crease, and yeah, it's funny. Normal Busta activities on that track, just absolutely coming out of nowhere with a crazy line. Might be my favorite too, just because it is so wild. I mean, Biggie is probably the best verse on here if I had to say. But honestly, I think the beat is what shines here on this Posse cut, and this is one of the few ones that has a really good hook. Normally, Posse cuts are just straight rapping. This hook is very catchy and it hits. I'm between a B and an A. I'm gonna go A just because of the iconicness of it. Like, it rarely gets better than it only gets so much better in like that S tier category, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're moving on to Freddie Gibbs's Pinata off of his album Pinata. Has features from Cassie Veggies, I believe Damo Genesis is on it, Mac Miller, Michi. Yeah, like I said, bunch of names that I'm probably going to forget. But actually, the reason I did want to make this video is because I saw an Instagram reel of someone going over the best Posse cuts of all time, and this was one of them. And they said that the person that made the reel, I forget who they are, so sorry if I don't give credit, but they said that Mac Miller was the best verse on here, and I could see why. The rhyme scheme's pretty cool, but I think Freddie has the best verse on this. So as you can tell, so far I've like kind of point out like who has best verse. We haven't really gotten to that upper echelon, in my opinion, of everyone did their part on the group assignment, if you know what I'm saying. The thing that the main knock on this, I will say, is the beat is kind of weird. It's not the typical Posse cut beat, in my opinion. Madlib is a great producer. This isn't one of my favorite beats of his, and I think everybody sounds relatively good on it. I don't like Michi's verse all too well. His he has like a gravelly inflection to him. Yeah. So Pinata, I'm kind of also in the same vein as One Train, I would say. That, or it's like, I don't know, because I think I like the rapping a little bit more. Yeah, this is tough. I think I like the personnel on One Train a little bit more, but I think like consistency wise from verse to verse you're getting more on Pinata. I'll put it at a B then. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that decision right there. I think that's a good spot for it. Moving on though, we got Scenario by Tribe Called Quest featuring what's his name, Dino something. Busta Rhymes is also on this one. This song has a special place in my music listening career. It's probably like one of the first rap songs I ever heard. My dad played it for me in the car when I was like a kid, and I immediately liked it. My dad's a huge Busta Rhymes fan, so and he's like the main highlight of this track. His verses at the end and is iconic. Doing the speed rapping a little bit here and there. Yeah, flow is crazy, but I mean it's just catchy. Low End Theory, like just boom bap jazz rap to its core. Iconic stuff. Q-Tip, his voice is so smooth. It has just great energy, and I know I said I like chiller cuts, Posse cuts a little bit more than like the hype ones, but this is a hype one that I can get behind. It has like that crowd energy in the chorus. Another Posse cut with a great chorus, so that's another tick in the box for me in the good category of it all. Yeah, this is an S tier Posse cut. Scenario, great track. And I do want to say I tried to stay away from groups that had like more than 3 people. So like the Migos, add one person to it, then technically it's a Posse cut. I probably should have went over this in the beginning, but whatever. So groups of 2 plus 2 other features, I'm considering a Posse cut 4 or more artists on a song. And I know it gets kind of murky with like labels and collectives. Like I'm gonna have a few Dreamville songs on here. Obviously you see the Odd Future one on here, so it gets a little bit like, murky with who's a group, who's not a group, sort of a deal. I don't have any Wu-Tang songs on here, but never mind that. Just wanted to point that out. Tried to stay away from groups that were more than 2 people. Now that I got that out of the way, we have Red Death by West Side Gun that basically has like the whole Griselda crew on it. this beat is kind of like slow with this pace and stuff like that. But it is very menacing. It is very Griselda-esque, obviously, and it's the outro to his album 10. Hitler wears Hermes 10. But you know, and this is probably my favorite West Side Gun album that I've heard. I'm not too deep into his catalog yet, but enough about the album as a whole. This song, I'm not gonna listen to it on its own, but everyone slides on this for the most part. I think the one verse that I didn't like is Jay Worthy. His flow is a little slow, and I don't know, the rhyme scheme just isn't really that impressive to me. But you could pick lines on top of lines out of here, like just punchlines and like Rome Streets, Stove got cooks. Anytime he's doing like NBA references, they don't even need to like have crazy wordplay. He just names like these old school throwback guys like Dan Marley. I'm in Phoenix, and like it's nothing like he could do the simplistic just shout out, but he can also hit you with some nice wordplay and stuff like that. Yeah, Benny opening the track too. Oh, his cadence is awesome. He's like talking that stuff. He means what he says on that verse, and it ends with Conway, which I think was perfect. Armani Caesar does a great job on this. Adds a bit of diversity to the track. Like I said, it's not a Posse cut I'm gonna listen to, so I don't know if it could be in the A category, but it's like a strong B, because I did kind of talk crap about the Freddie Gibbs one. How I didn't like the beat that much. I think the rapping is exceptionally better on Red Death. So you know what? I'm making changes already. I'm moving the Pinata one down to C. I'm moving this one up to B, because I definitely don't think it's on the level of Craig Mack's Flavors in Your Ear. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Next up, we got Odd Future's Oldie, timeless classic. You know, the infamous Posse cut has basically all of Odd Future on it. The video is iconic. This one's just like, you don't even really got to be paying close attention to it. There probably are some good punchlines on it, but it is a super long track. And one favorite like things that I just kind of noticed about it, I love the horn fills that sound so MF Doom inspired, which you can obviously tell in Tyler's music as he's progressed throughout his career. He's a huge Doom fan. Yeah, great beat for a Posse cut. I love Frank Ocean rapping on it. Oh yeah, Jasper's verse is so funny. Man, rapping so hard. I don't want to do this. Like, it's great. A bunch of personality. Oh, and also Earl sounds so young on this. Like, his voice is so like higher than it is now, which I thought was funny. And he has a great verse too. Trying to think who. Oh, I love what's his name? Mike. Mike. Whoever his first name is, Mike. It has something else after that. But I'm blanking on the name right now. I love his verse a lot. Yeah. It's got a good beat. Has some, yeah, like if this is a beat that I could like want to freestyle with like a bunch of my friends or something like that, even though we can't rap for God knows what, you did a good job for it to be a Posse cut. I don't know, like if I'm between a B and an A on it. I think I would put it at an A. It's better than Red Death for sure. And I think there's an argument to be made that it's on the same level as Flavors in Your Ear. I think I'm cool with that decision. Next up, we got Atrocity Exhibition, Really Doe, with Danny Brown, Absol, Kendrick Lamar, and Earl Sweatshirt. Earl again. Yeah, this is probably the song I've listened to the most. No, that's a lie. There's gonna be more, but there's gonna be songs I've listened to more. But this song's great, and I think the thing that the Edge can't talk that this song has over a bunch of other ones is that it fits so well within the context of Danny's album. Like, they're all rapping about just like this descending like into madness sort of a thing. Like, it adds so much chaos, and it's like the big banger on it. You have Kendrick Lamar on the hook. It's a great beat. menacing like soundscape. And yeah, for the most part, everyone's verse is really good. I do have some like eye roll moments at like some of the stuff that Absol does, like I'm a writer with ambitions of a writer, and like I don't know, I don't like that flow a little bit. But for the most part, that's just like a minor detail that I didn't really like a whole lot about it. But I mean, Earl's verse is probably my favorite. I think that's like the consensus best verse on this song. He just comes in with so much energy, which you don't really get from Earl all too much, and great lines. Why you got your couch on my chucks, like that whole sequence. Left-handed shooter, Kyle Lowry to pump, like it just has so many quotables. I'm definitely gonna put this in the S tier as well, especially like I said, fits within the context of the album. Beautiful, just mesh of personnel, rapping, and beat and everything. Like it just works so perfectly. Next up, we have the Notorious Forever with Drake, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and Eminem. I will admit, Eminem's verse is probably the best. I'm not a huge Eminem fan. Haven't gone to enough of his music to like say whether I like him or not, or what I like. I hear all the opinions online anyway, so I'll get to it at some point. But anyway, his verse is probably the best, and it's just funny looking at this song in retrospect. It sounds so dated, and Drake singing on it is like so, like, it doesn't even sound like he can sing. It sounds so like upheld by like filters and stuff. Not filters, but you know what I'm saying. It's that resourceful auto-tune type of super compressed singing. And obviously it's been contextualized in memes and stuff like that. So yeah, if you are unironically still listening to Forever, you need to listen to more music. I'll say that much. And there are so many Kanye lines on here that I think are eye rolls now. Drake has some eye roll lyrics and stuff. Yeah, this is just, why they made this song. It was supposed to be a sports anthem, and it was, but it's not a song I'm going to listen to by any means. I'll give it a D because it's like doing a thing. I'll leave it at a D. It's whatever to me. Next, we got TD by Lil Yachty featuring Tyler, Creator, A$AP Rocky again, and Tierra Whack. This one's fun. I can't listen to it a whole lot though. I have it on my playlist, but there's a time and place for this type of song. It's a hype song, and it has the Tokyo Drift sample. It's not a song I'm gonna put on every day. I'm not a huge fan of the A$AP verse. It's fine. It's serviceable, but I mean, I really get into the track when Tyler comes on, and then Tierra kills her verse. I gotta know and imagine, like, her flow is crazy. And Yachty's flow is cool. He's doing the nasally inflection thing, old Lil Yachty rapping, before he had his artistic transition into psych rock. Ever since he's found out about the warble effect on his vocal, he was just nasally rapping over a bunch of hard-hitting trap beats. But, I mean, aside from the A$AP verse and it not being a song that I'm going to replay all the time, I would put it at a B. I think that's going to be a hot take, I think. I already think I made people mad by putting Pinata and One Train in the C tier. That's come get me. I don't care. I just think for a Posse cut, you could have left out a few verses on this song, and I just wish the beat was a little bit better on Pinata. This one is fun. It's a fun time. They're just rapping about whipping in a vehicle that goes very, very fast. Not the entire time, but great rapping from everybody on it. Next, we got Move That Dope by Future featuring Pusha T, Pharrell Williams, and Casino. I think, I'm pretty sure that's his name. This is in probably my top 10 Future songs. I absolutely love this song. This is a hype song that I can play like all the time. I don't know. The chorus is catchy. I could see how some people might say it's too repetitive, but I mean, it's a Future song. A lot of the stuff is based on repetition and just kind of the vibe of it all. But it's filled with great verses. Future sounds alive and engaged on the first verse. Pusha T with the knows better sequence might be a bit of an eye roll to some people, but I feel like that's Pusha T's way of having fun, because he couldn't throw you lines that like just whiz over your head sort of a deal, but he was like, I'm gonna explain it to them this time. Great. And for all these guys to fit on this beat, this is not a beat I would expect Future to be on in the first place, but it says it's produced by will.i.am, but it has Pharrell's hands all over it. You can tell at the moment you hear the push it. Like, that's just a Pharrell classic, using voice elements to bake into the production. But Pharrell's verse is by far my favorite, for sure. The flow is crazy. He's going 1,000 miles a minute. Where do I put this though? I don't think it's an S. I'm gonna give it an A, because like it's not like it doesn't have that iconic factor to it. But yeah, A for Move That Dope. Next we got, I think there could be multiple Posse cuts on 2001, but I went with Explosive. I think it has the most people on it. Absolute West Coast banger. Nate Dogg, iconic performance. Great beat. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's an S. It has the iconic factor. It has catchy moments. It has great rapping on it, and it's all about one thing. It's about that chronic iced tea. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have to say much about it. If you don't like Explosive, if you don't think Explosive is an S tier Posse cut song, then I mean, I could see maybe some people putting it at A, because I don't even know why you would knock points off of it. It's a perfect song. It's probably my favorite song off that album, and yeah, there's great performances all around. Next up, oh boy, if you guys are locked in, you will know Queef Stew by Queef Jerky, the absolute YouTube content creator, titan of a song, that shook the world, shook the underground rap scene to its core. Everyone was scared when this song came on. It's got features from Hive Mind Riley. It's got features from Dignan. Shout out my boy wearing the shirt to represent. Everyone says that Dignan doesn't have music out, but if you really wanna see what he's about, he says about a solid 3 lines on this song, and they're all straight heat. That's all he needs. Even he could go on if he wanted to, but he doesn't have to. Yeah, I think this goes without saying. This is a S tier Posse cut. Just straight up iconic. It has so many people on it, and great beat. You're not gonna find anything like this out there. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're curious, go listen to it for yourself. Queef Jerky, go check him out. Shout out Dev. Shout out Nick. All right, next we got First Night. I almost forgot the name of the song title, but off of the Lyrical Lemonade project. Shout out Cole Bennett. This one's tricky. Actually, no, it's not tricky. I don't like this song. I don't like how Tizo. I'm a huge Tizo fan. I don't like how he sings on the first part, and then the transition into the super hype part. Tizo borders on things in his own music that sound corny, but he pulls it off well. This one I think is kind of corny. I can't get behind the me. No. And then it transitions into this like really hard, like almost Memphis infused beat, and as Cochie's doing kind of like a little bit of a playful flow. Denzel Curry is probably my favorite part on the song. And has the switch up with Lil B at the end, like kind of rejecting the whole sentiment of the song, and it's kind of funny. But I'm not gonna listen to this song. I saw Denzel Curry played it live, and it was pretty hype, but I'm putting that a D. It's not quite an F because I think the Denzel Curry verse does boost it up a little bit, but not a good mixture of chemistry on this Posse cut for me personally. All right, next we got Down Bad off of Revenge of the Dreamers 3. It's got Jid, has Young Nudie on it for like 5 seconds. It's got J. Cole, it's got one half of Earth Gang, and it's who else is on it? Boss. Yes. This song is replayability. Like I've heard this. This is the song that I've heard more than Really Doe, for sure. It's just got a great beat, and it's like sectioned off so well. I think like no one goes on for too long. It's a pretty short song for how many people are on it, and yeah, everything is like so perfect. You got Boss setting the tone, and then Jid's hook is amazing. Well, Jid's verse is the opening verse to it, but I don't know. I think like you're thrown in right to the fire with like Jid just throwing bars at you, like classic fast flow, a bunch of good like phrasing choices and stuff, and then Boss kind of like calms you down a little bit, and then like picks up the energy as you go along, and then back to the hook, and then J. Cole comes in. He's probably my favorite verse on this track for sure, and then Johnny Venus, his verse is awesome. He like takes the beat out, and then he's just going super quick. Yeah, it's absolute anthem. I wouldn't put this anywhere else but S tier in my opinion. Next we have Sticky off of Chromacopia by Tyler with Sexy Red, Glorilla, and Lil Wayne. This is all for having those people on it. It's almost kind of like barely a Posse cut because their verses are kind of short, but it was a great moment on the album. Great production all around. I kind of wish like he had like it's not a knock on Tyler. I think it was fine how he had it, but I think it would be cool to have. I don't think any of the other people on the first part of the song could fit on that second beat, but I don't know. Maybe throw on another feature on the second beat. I think that would have been cool. But yeah, crazy production, and it's got like that like lunch table banging on the table sort of a vibe. So that's good atmosphere to have for a Posse cut. Yeah, I know I'm not sounding too enthusiastic about it, but I think it's better than Red Death and TD. I would probably have it in the same lane as this. Tyler's just like so good that you kind of have to dumb it down a little. Like you kind of have to like not give him too much praise, you know. But yeah, although the verses are short, they do their job. I love Glorilla. I think Glorilla might be my favorite verse on this. It's a great moment for the album. Yeah, putting that at A. All right, next we have Sacrifices, another Dreamville cut. This one's got Saba, Smino, iconic duo by themselves. J. Cole, and then Earth Gang as well. This song I used to play a lot. I don't play it as much now, but it's a great chill vibe. It's not like your typical Posse cut sort of chill song, but everyone's verse is nice. It has like the back and forth between the Earth Gang part, which some people I think find a bit annoying because it's like, what are they even saying? Just read the lyrics if you're really that curious. But J. Cole, pretty like heart-wrenching verse at the end of this song, has some good lines. And then my favorite verse by far is Saba. I think he kills it. Just overall like commentary on the rap game at this stage, which on a like album that's not even his, which I think was cool. And yeah, I love his flow switches. Yeah. I don't know if I could put it in the same tier as like a Down Bad. Like the replayability isn't there for me now. I've kind of ran this song to the ground a little bit. It's just kind of all of them telling like their own little stories, you know, but they all make sacrifices, you know. I'm gonna put it at an A. I think I agree with that. I like it. It's good. All right, next we have What's Poppin' Remix, the infamous Jack Harlow hit back in, what was it, 2020? It's got Jack, it's got DaBaby, it's got Tory Lanez and Lil Wayne. It's two kind of problematic figures on here, but step aside, this is just about the music. DaBaby and Tory Lanez both like slide on this beat. They both fit well. Tory Lanez's flow is super fast and like just doesn't take a breath the entire time. And I think my favorite part is Lil Wayne's part at the end though. Like just flipping the flow of Jack Harlow but inserting different words in there. And the Apple Watches line is classic. He is kind of, this is like the most what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even understand what he's saying some of the time. Like he is just mumbling on that part of the song at some points. You can't it's not that hard in some instances, but yeah, he is not enunciating his words to the fullest extent. And I was like, okay, sure, but it's just a super fun part of the song. And I like that Jack wrote another verse to go at the beginning of the song. Instead of what was originally just kind of put in. It shows that he cares about his craft and that he's just such a top tier writer. He was like, oh, you guys are going that hard? Let me rewrite my verse real quick. And let me spit this heat on this track. And let's get us a number one hit. I don't know if it went number one. It probably did. This reminds me of a time, for sure, when I would listen to this kind of music. I mean, I still kind of do, but just not Jack Harlow, you know. Not as mainstream hip hop, I guess, but I mean, Lil Wayne's a legend. I definitely don't listen to DaBaby or Tory Lanez anymore. I'll say that much. I think now here's a real question: do I put it above One Train and Pinata? I'll put it at a C. I don't listen to it anymore, but it was a moment, man. You had to be there. And I feel like people would say the same thing to me for these two tracks. You had to be there for those, but I'll put it at a C. Yeah. I don't know. The energy is just off the chain with this one. These ones are a little bit more laid back, even though you do have like some kind of aggressive performances on the ASAP track. All right, next. Last Dreamville cut, we have Costa Rica, which has a bunch of people on it. It's got Boss, it's got Buddy, it's got Mez, it's got Jid, it's got Ski. Did I already say Ski Mask? I don't know. It's got Smoke Perp, of all people. Like, what the heck? It was so funny to see to hear Smoke Perp's verse, and he was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. And then Jid comes in and he was like doing all this like crazy flow switches and like the rhyme scheme is crazy and it's very wordy and stuff. And it's like, Smoke Perp, sorry man, but Jid's here. It has like that crowd energy vibe too, especially at the end where Ski Mask is talking about going on a day with an AK. Good classic Ski personality showing through on the track there. I like Guaphead's hook on it too. But I don't listen to the song that much anymore. It's cool. I think I put it at a C as well. It's teetering on a B though. Like I think in terms of the C's, because these are like technically good, but I don't know. They're not tracks I would listen to a lot on my own. You know what I'm saying? These two tracks have a little bit more like fun factor to them, in my opinion. I don't know. It's very close to a B. But it is a lot to take in. It's not like every verse is perfect on here. Yeah, I'll put it at a C. I think these two tracks do something a little bit more impressive. This is like a crazy cast of characters. These are like people that, except for maybe Tierra Whack, I don't know if I don't know if Tierra Whack has worked with any of these people previously, but Lil Yachty now is like close friends with Tyler, and ASAP has worked with Tyler numerous amount of times, and this is just Griselda. There's more chemistry on these two tracks. Yeah. I think these tracks are honestly like in the C tier. They're just suffering for having too many people on the track. I think they probably just should have took out a couple of verses, except for What's Poppin'. What's Poppin', I think, is just me trying not to have nostalgia creep through and have it get put above some iconic Posse cuts that I may have not spent as much time with. But anyway, I've said my piece. Moving on, we got Monster by Kanye West featuring Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z. This one, going back to it, like Jay-Z's verse, like there are some eye roll lines in there. The beat is fine. It's like got that tribal aspect to it. I think this is the only sentence, that anyone will ever say on a music channel. I wish Rick Ross rapped a little bit more. I love the way that he comes in. Fat mother, like, like the gravelly, gruff Rick Ross voice fits so well on that beat. But I think overall, I like Kanye's verse the most. He makes some of the Jay-Z lines that come off a little bit corny, sound a little bit more like they fit Kanye's vibe a little bit more. And then Nicki Minaj, obviously, her verse is regarded as pretty highly, and it's an iconic performance, of course. I would probably be my second favorite verse. If the Rick Ross verse was longer, it would by far be my favorite, probably. If he was rapping at the same level as he was on Devil in a New Dress, but it was on this beat, that would be crazy. That would be insane. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the whole vibe of this song just gives off a little bit of like, it feels a little bit dated just because it's like, I'm a monster, big, scary. Like I just can't get behind the whole vibe of the song entirely. I'll put it at a B though. That's like a tentative B. I'm not too confident in that, but the production is a little bit more interesting than these tracks here, and the personnel, I think they're all close friends, at least back at that point in time. I don't know what they're doing now, but definitely I think the chemistry is there a little bit more. All right, next up we got another Kanye track. We got Mercy with Big Sean, 2 Chainz, and Pusha T. This song would have been 10 times better if it didn't have that synth punchy bridge section where Kanye's rapping. That is so stupid that even exists. It ruins the whole track. And Big Sean had some eye roll lines, but they were fine for the time that this song came out, and it's a Big Sean verse. You can't really be expecting much. No offense to Big Sean, you can rap, but yeah, roll my weed on it. That's an ashtray. I'm not trying to hear that anymore. This song has been just oversaturated for sure. The beat is pretty good. It has like that instrumental part with the vocal sample and stuff mixed for a good kind of climax at the end of each song, or at the end of each verse, excuse me. But I don't know, I'm not too crazy on it. 2 Chainz provides some nice personality to it. I think Pusha T's verse though might be my favorite. Yeah, I just hate that Kanye part. I prefer Monster over it. I would put Mercy probably like I put it below. I put it at the bottom of the C tier for sure. I don't know. It's just overplayed. And say what you want. I don't know if I should be taking that in consideration, but whatever. All right, next we have Ain't No Way off of Melt My Eyes, See Your Future by Denzel Curry. This one's got Black, Jid, Rico Nasty, obviously this got Denzel, and then I think there were some other vocalists on it, but they didn't have like full verses or anything. They might have just done like background vocals or ad libs to it. This is a very weird track. First thing I want to say, I hate Black's hook on it. It's so like it ruins the whole vibe of the track, and it sucks the energy out of it. But the weird thing is that Rico Nasty comes in to the track with so much energy, fits so well with the beat, just like the weird like electronic kind of percussion sounds and stuff. And I will say also the hook is kind of corny. Ain't no way, ain't no way. Like I don't know. It's like so boring and like simple. Like it's like the obvious hype hook section for a song like this. But then the weird part about it is that Denzel Curry and Jid's verse are on like a chill, more boom bappier beat of the song, and I don't know how to feel about it. It's not a song I play a whole lot off this album, but it's fine. I think I put it at a B, or like it's like top of the C, maybe B range. I'm not too like confident. I would probably, I don't know. Jid's verse is nice, short and sweet, and I think my favorite verse by far is Rico Nasty's. Just straight up energy. I put it at a B. It gets in about, yeah. I think so. All right, next up we have Strangers off of Cheat Codes by Black Thought and Danger Mouse. This one we also have A$AP Rocky, and then we also have Killer Mike and LP on Run the Jewels fame. Like I said, I tried my best to stay away from groups, but I love this song a lot. The production on it is very cool. Obviously, LP is a great producer, but he has a good verse on this too. I think Killer Mike's verse might be my favorite though, and I think I've kind of talked trash on a bunch of the A$AP Rocky verses on here. I like his verse on here. Doors open up like two fins, like the Dr. Seuss kind of sequence there. Oh yeah, I also want to say I do like the line on Melt My Eyes or Ain't No Way where Denzel says, I kill a mic on every LP, because LP is another word for album. Yeah, you get it. But I thought a little nod to Run the Jewels there. And they're on this track. And yeah, I think my favorite part about this track is the beat, and then it has like the little bridge section. Again, like a good sectioned off verse by verse song with the little female vocal thing that they got going on. It sounds like it sounds like they took like those samples out of like an old like mafia boss movie sort of a deal. Provides good overall soundscape, especially in context of the album too. This isn't like a huge concept album or anything like that, but it fits with all in the vibe of the production style. But yeah, I think I love Killer Mike's energy on this. I leave you shot in the same seat that said Lincoln in. Like, yeah, that's just hard. I think I go A with this. I don't know if it's quite an S, because it doesn't really have that iconic factor to it. Yeah, I'd go A with it. I'm cool with that. All right, next we have the title track off of Kendrick Lamar's most recent album, GNX, the West Coast banger. They got Peso, they got Hit a J3, and they got Young Threat. Just the quirky bass-filled beat, absolutely distorted with that obnoxious piano line. I like it. It's playful. It's I guess it's maybe the recency bias and stuff. But I mean, Kendrick's performance, say what you want about it, but he lets the hungry guys shine on this song, and it's nice. It's got the West Coast vibe going on for it. It's not a song I will listen to all the time, but I mean, if I'm running this album front to back, I'm definitely gonna enjoy it. And yeah, Peso does a great job on it, and especially like taking the Kendrick hook and then making it his own. Tell him Peso did it. Like, I like all the features voices on their parts of that song. I think it goes top of the B category for sure. Love the energy on it. Our last and final song, ladies and gentlemen, we have Chase the Money. This, I don't know how many people are going to remember this song. This is when I was first getting into music, and it's got the craziest, weird, I wouldn't say the craziest, definitely not the craziest, but it's an E40 song that came out in like the late 2010s, early 2020s. I think it came out in 2020, and it's got Roddy Ricch, Schoolboy Q, and who else? Quavo and ASAP Ferg. First of all, E40, Schoolboy Q, and Roddy Ricch are all from California, so and it's kind of got like that West Coast vibe to it, and then you throw on Quavo and ASAP Ferg for what? And I think ASAP Ferg doesn't do a bad job on this song. I like his verse quite a bit, but yeah, I don't know. This one is honestly solely based on nostalgia, and E40's part is so hilarious. His like just speech, like like spoken word-ish sort of delivery, and just like some of the lines that he says. You guys soft as table butter, margarine. Like, and he's like trying to cram in words in like his verse. I will say Quavo's hook, Quavo and Roddy Ricch are on the hook on this song, and it's not bad. But I'm definitely luxury automobiles and sports cars with loud pipes, vroom, is the ad lib. Yeah, E40 is just, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, not to discredit a legend, but he is such an old head on this song. It's like the MF Doom line, still talking in rhymes like an old fart. That's like one of my mantras. I feel like I'm an old fart, even though I'm 18. But anyway, what would I rate this though? I don't have an F, so even if I think it's probably maybe on the same level as these two songs. It's got good personnel on it. Like Schoolboy Q is verse is fine, but gotta F something. All right, well there you go. That's the tier list. Let me know what you guys disagree with. What songs I should have on maybe a future tier list I do, and let me know what other type of videos you would like to see. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna continue being on that YouTube grind and talking about music. Peace.